If you are a highly sensitive person, you probably have experienced or are experiencing spiritual disease, dis-ease. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much. Welcome back. I want to let you guys know, if you are an OG and you've been with me for, I don't know, 5-10 years, you have heard me talk about this book that I wrote back in 2012 and 13. Guess what? That book has been revamped and re-edited, and a lot has been added in, and that book is coming out this year, most likely in April. So I want you to make sure you're on my book release list. It's in the description of this video. So you get the first email when it drops, and you get to hear about my launch, and maybe you want to join us in my virtual launch online. I would love to have you. But let's dive in. A lot of this book is talking about being a highly sensitive person, or a neurodivergent, everything I ever talk about, or feeling scapegoated or self-abandoning, and really the symptoms of that, and why you are born right now, and why maybe you woke up a little earlier in life, or you were born awake and you didn't have the proper guidance. No one understood you, right? And when that happens, we can internalize things, turn against ourselves. We can start to feel disconnected from who we are. When we self-abandon in these ways because we need to belong, oftentimes this looks like your identity has to shift into the identity how other people see you, even though they're not understanding that you're an elevated soul with a different consciousness than this world. And when you come in with a different consciousness, meaning you're sensitive to things, and it's not that you understand more, but you do have insight. It's more like you reject things that aren't honest. You feel in your body when someone's lying. You can have psychic understandings of things, or you can feel into what someone else is thinking, or you can know when someone's going to call you, or you can have this idea of what you want to do in the world, but not sure it's actually even going to be in society. One of my biggest issues growing up is I knew I had spiritual abilities, right? And emotional intelligence. And I was like, I want to be a therapist, but therapy doesn't go deep enough. I need like a spiritual psychologist. And that did not exist when I was in high school. So going to college to do that wasn't going to be an option until I turned 30, and it was there. And then I went back to do the work, right? But oftentimes we won't find what we came here to do in the world. And when I say things like you're born perfect for your purpose, people are like, no, I'm not. I can't see it anywhere. And I say, do you think that when I became a spiritual coach, because I studied spiritual psychology back in 2013, do you think there was a lot of us? No. I was one of the weird ones out there talking about deep shit that traditional therapy was not even touching on. And it really got popular pretty fast because people were like, wait a minute, you're talking about my life. Wait a minute, you're understanding it in a way that no one has before in your experience. And so we have to have the confidence and the courage to be who we are and put it in the world. That's why many of us are entrepreneurs or healers or coaches, because we're bringing new awareness or new perceptions and new perspectives into an old system. So spiritual disease is when you don't feel like you belong. You feel different. You think there's something wrong with you. Why am I so different? And I can't find the guidance I need, or I can't find the mirror that I need. We start to have symptoms like autoimmune because our body has learned to turn against ourselves because system was opposite of us, right? Or maybe you grew up in a home. Many highly sensitive people grow up in a home as the scapegoat or with a narcissistic parent, and you have been told that you're wrong and you have to literally go against your naturalness. This can create the body reflecting as an autoimmune disease. It can also create depression, chronic fatigue, anxiety. I have had so many clients over the years that have healed these things when they really start to heal back to their own attunement. When you're in a home that you're not attuned to and in a world that doesn't attune to you, it's shocking. It's terrifying. It's terrorizing, right? So healing this dis-ease that we have is about coming back to the truth of who we are, regardless of who we're going to lose along the way. It's more important to stop self-abandoning than be abandoned by others. Because when you stop self-abandoning, you now have the insight and the tools and the strength to bring forward who you truly are. You're not going to need to depend on these people, these undependable people, for your survival. Your survival comes more about how true to yourself you continue to live, right? So this is huge right now. People are really waking up. And, you know, in my book, I talk about the stages of a child born into a system that's backwards, of having to be counterintuitive, being a teen who has issues with autonomy because you have an awakening spiritually, but you're not seeing it anchored here, and you get confused about where God is. It's the existential crisis. Then we go into toxic relationship dynamics, because if you're having an existential crisis and you're traumatically bonded to life or self or parent, you're going to have trauma bonds in your relationships. You're going to have unavailable partners because you're still unavailable to the deepest, most truthful, profound part of yourself, your inner child, right? And really, when we heal this, we come into our true calling, because we start getting really honest. We start getting real about how we feel so we can heal. We stop giving a shit about being different. We stop worrying about there's something being wrong with you, because you know that's not possible when you really understand the nature of God. You're born perfect for your purpose. That doesn't mean society mirrors that. Society is made up by a bunch of people with free will. They can either follow their truth or create something different in the phase, or let's say in the example of materialism, of society standards and measures, perfectionism, what beauty really is, how you're supposed to think, how you're supposed to act, all of that shit. That really doesn't matter when it comes to your soul's mission. Sure, we all want to feel liked or understood by people, but when you understand yourself and you really like yourself, you project that energy and people start to understand. Everybody watches the person who walks in integrity, because integrity has impact. And why is that? When you hear someone talking about truth and it hits you in your body, you trust that. And you're like, damn, I want to follow that. I want to be more truthful. I want to live in alignment with a life that is aligned and that has synchronicity in it. That was my first sign that I knew I was on the right track. When I was a teenager and I had my awakening and I had these dreams and they started happening pretty quickly. And it happens now, even with this book. I said last January, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get this book published. And within, I don't know, weeks, I was approached by a publisher, and I was like, holy shit. Like, when you're really ready and you get rid of all of the resistance in your body, all the parts of you that think you don't deserve it or it won't happen or God doesn't have your back, get rid of all that. And when you do, and you're left with this clean slate of possibility of allowing life to mirror what your dominant energy internally is, that's when you start to live your purpose. I'm coaching a lot of people right now in my business mentorship program, because what happens is you start to understand this, but you don't know what to do with it, right? All my links are below for all the offerings. But I want you guys to really think about today, what is your ailment? What can that be connected to? Whenever I have a sore throat, I'm like, where am I not expressing authentically? When I feel really tight in my body, I'm like, where am I holding stress? What do I need to let out? What do I need to look into? When I used to have migraines in my 20s, I was in a toxic relationship and didn't know that. But what I realized is my brain was literally shutting down because of the pain of the toxicity of this emotional dynamic. So our bodies tell us where the spiritual dis-ease is. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And so really understanding that is understanding that anything that's going wrong in your body isn't because you're wrong or there's something wrong with you. It's because something's happening that's wrong. So more on that in my book. Anyway, I love you guys. Please share this video with at least one person you think it could help. At least one person. Please comment below if you have anything to share or you have any questions. Go say hi to me over on Instagram. Make sure you're on my book release list. I'd love to have you at my launch in a couple of months. And what else can I tell you? Oh, Inner Work is open. My 8-week live course with me. I only take a couple of people, meaning it's just me live coaching with a couple of you. Men and women are both welcome. Ever since I've been doing this group, I don't know, 6 years or longer, it's profound because really neutrally observing someone talking about almost your exact situation really elevates your understanding. And it can really shift your perspective, which is what transformation is. So if you want to coach with me or you can't afford it, inner work is the way to go. It is far cheaper. It is either 2 months, 4 months, or 6 months. You can sign up for any of those. Also, don't forget my Truth Room membership. I show up live to coach you through things in a group setting every single week. Plus, there are courses in there. Plus, there are huge discounts on coaching. So all of that is for you. I love you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'll see you soon.